Here on the Oxford turf with Coach Yeager. Coach, 42-14, big win, big response by your team. Was responding to last week's game at Pell City the biggest point of emphasis for you going into tonight?
You know, I guess the big thing was we've been just saying, we're on a growth journey, and we just kept saying stay the course, and the big thing was that we wanted everybody to do is we wanted everybody to fight for one another and just be excited about playing high school football. We said before we started the game tonight, hey, y'all are football players, I'm a football coach, it's Friday night, and we're playing football in Alabama. Does it get any better than that? Let's go out and do it, and so I think that's what they did. They just went out and, just enjoyed themselves, and that's the way it should look,
We can't talk about tonight's game without mentioning the run game. Tight end formation at fullback, and then I think we'll say we had 400 yards rushing, 399, 400, 401 right in there. What made us able to be so successful in pretty much the same formation all game long?
Well, to be honest with you, last Saturday, we spent all day long. Usually we spend about half the day looking at us, and then about another half looking at our opponent. We moved on. We spent all day Saturday and all day Sunday at us, and we just said, okay, where can we make improvements? What adjustments do we need to make? And we made very, very subtle but significant adjustments in some of the things that we were doing. And we had a feeling that we were about to have a breakout. Like we were practicing, and it just looked different. It looked like it has always looked. And I just give a lot of credit to the coaches for being willing to put in the time. Because a lot of times, something like that happens and you just move on to the next game. Well, then you go back and you do a self-study in the off-season, and you realize all the mistakes that you made. We just said, no, the biggest thing is not Oxford this week. The biggest thing is Mount Brook. Let's focus on Mount Brook. Let's get better,
Two more questions. Let's talk about the defense real quickly. Miller, Crumpton, 2, probably an arm's length away from being 3 interceptions. Defensive line picking up right where they left off, flying around the ball directionally, pushing Maddox around the backfield. And so talk to me about what made the defense be able to be so successful tonight.
Well, first of all, we were playing a very good explosive offense tonight, and very talented, one of the most talented players in the state at receiver. And so I think the big thing that they did is they just played team defense. They rallied to the ball, and when the ball carrier had it, there were 11 people hitting him, and you go through a series of 5 or 6 plays, and 11 people hit that 66 times, and he's been hit. That gets pretty old pretty quick. And so to me, I just love the way that I love the way that we just play team defense. I know Miller had an incredible night, but Miller has some picks because Boyd Cooper and Billy Farrow and Will Ellis is just putting the pressure on that quarterback. And then the other thing too is all those other receivers are covered up. And so he's trying to go to what he thinks is an open receiver. He just does a good job breaking up. But that's just an example of playing team defense.
And then lastly, tell us about your message to your team. You talked about bouncing back. You talked about being resilient. You had guys go in tonight, get in the game, maybe get banged up a little bit, maybe some who were banged up, some that were coming back, but the resilience of this team. What was your message at the end from the fight, whistle to whistle, start to finish?
Well, we had a saying this week, it's called Hoka Hey, which means today's a good day for a fight. And there's just an unusual young man that's attracted to this game. He was attracted to the physicality of the game. And, we talked to him too, everybody knows what Mudita is. It's when you have, when you have joy over someone else's success. But the only thing stronger than Mudita to me is a brotherhood. And the brotherhood is, when their conflict is your fight, and we said, there's a team and, they've drawn a line in the sand and, it's time for us to fight and enjoy the fight, and our guys did. That's what I was proud of. I was just proud of the intensity that they created from the first kickoff. We get down 7 points, and we just kept taking the fight to them. And I felt really good, even during that drive, because I could just see our guys just adjusting more and more and more to the speed of the game.
A 42-7 comeback after going down 7-0 is quite the response. Mountain Brook wins at 42-14, improves to 3-2 overall, bounces back to 1-1 in region play. The Spartans on the road next week at Homewood. Pregame coverage begins at 6:30. Game will kick off at 7. We'll have that action for you, myself and Wayne Ingram. Looking forward to that one. Hey, keep it here on Mountain Brook Football YouTube. We're going to have plays of the game all week, Taco Mama turnovers, booth cam, all of the great things. Super excited about a week to come, breaking down film from what is a great game and a great win tonight. We're going to go ahead and pack it up, send it home. Be sure to like and subscribe, comment on this video as well, and follow Mountain Brook Athletics. That's it for tonight. Go Spartans. Congratulations.
Thank you, William.